So the sit and reach test, advantages of this, it's easy to set up and can be performed anywhere that's flat and has a wall. It's quick to do, you can do everybody within sort of like 10 minutes. The results are easy to interpret because you just read it straight off the board. The disadvantages to it, you would need to buy the equipment and it's very specific, so you wouldn't be able to use it for anything else. It'd literally just be for that. You'd probably need multiple boards to speed up the process. Before you do the test, you'd have to get everybody to stretch so that you avoid them injuring themselves by doing the test. Also, extra assistance would be needed to keep an eye on everybody to avoid them bending their knees to make sure they don't cheat. Next is the sergeant jump, which is the test for power. This is easy to set up and you can do it in multiple locations at one time as long as there's an assistant at each one. It can be tested anywhere that there's a wall. All you need to do is have a piece of chalk and jump and mark it on that wall and have a tape measure to see how far they jumped. Almost no equipment's needed, just that piece of chalk and the tape measure. It's really cheap to do. Both those things don't cost very much money. Disadvantages, it's hard to judge if the actual peak of the jump is measured, as when they mark the wall they could be still ascending or starting to descend. Assistants are needed to record the readings, obviously, and when the participants land they could end up injuring themselves, like spraining their ankle or something similar to that. Next, the bleep test. So an advantage of this, multiple participants can be done at once and to not many assistants are needed. Only equipment that's needed is a sound system, so like a CD player to have the bleeps. The results are easily interpreted because you just need to write down the level which they came off at. And disadvantages, you need a large quiet area to do it so that everybody can hear the beeps and there's enough room to run. Multiple assistants would be needed to make sure nobody cheats, so if somebody came off at level 9 and said they were on level 10, you'd need an assistant there to record what level they actually came off at. And there's no in between on the levels, so if somebody gets halfway through level 9 it counts as just a 9, not a 9.5. Next, waist to hip ratio. Advantages of this is that it's easy and quick to do. All you need to do is measure their waist and their hip and turn it into a ratio, and that's it. It's cheap to do, you only need a tape measure, and the maths is really simple. All you need to do is just use a calculator and divide one number by the other. Disadvantages, it's not always representative of the true value, because somebody who's quite large and unhealthy might actually have a good waist to hip ratio, so it's not a good test of body composition. You'd also have to do one person at a time or have multiple assistants to do it. And finally, the press-up test. Advantages to this is that it's quick and easy to do. There's no technical issues in doing a press-up. It's quite easy. The results are also easy to interpret. All you need to do is count how many they can do. You can do multiple people at once as long as there's enough assistants, and there's no equipment required to do the press-up test. And the disadvantages is that it only tests one part of your body, which is your chest and triceps. You would need multiple assistants if you wanted to speed the test up, and if you did only have one assistant, it would take a long time to count every recruit.